what is a perfect square trinomial. So you see up here, it's a squared plus or minus 2ab plus b squared. So again, this is factoring. Yep, here we go. We're factoring again. So you've got a perfect square at the beginning. You got a perfect square at the end. The middle term will be double of a times b. And what we like this because it turns into just a single binomial squared when you factor it. Okay? So if you look at 1, x squared is a perfect square. We've done a little bit of this before. We could rewrite it as x squared. Are you with me? Okay, so the thing that's being squared is x. What about 9? What's being squared to get 9? 3. Yes, the square root of 9 is 3. So 3 squared would give me 9. Sorry, that's kind of small. Maybe I'll zoom in. Okay, so 3 squared gets me 9. What you need to see is that this middle term, if I do 3 times x, I get 3x. The middle term is double of that. So 2 times 3x, 6x. Okay? What's nice about this is you could play the x game, or once you learn this pattern, you're just going to be able to do it with the pattern. So this is a perfect square trinomial because there are two numbers that multiply to 9 and add to negative 6. Told you factoring's not going away. What are they? Close. Negative 3 and negative 3. So remember, that means that you then would do x minus 3, because the a term is 1, x minus 3, but this is tacky. Do you remember how you write it then?
X minus 3 squared.
Yeah, x minus 3, the quantity squared. So this number here that you would get whenever you play the x game, you're going to have 2 of them because it's a perfect square, meaning that I get 2 of the exact same factors. Squares have side lengths are the same. You multiply them together to get the area. So this is a perfect square trinomial, okay? So this one is a yes. Because the question is asking, after all, is the quadratic a perfect square? If so, factor it, okay? So the first one was a yes. That's an example of one. We could play the x game, but technically you don't need to if you recognize the pattern. So look at number 2 for me. Okay, is 4x squared a perfect square? Yeah, what gets squared? 2x. What about 49? What gets squared? 7. Okay, so if you were to multiply those two things, 2x times 7, you would get 14x. Do you see how the middle term is double of that? 14x times 2 is 28x. So the middle term is 2 times a times b. So it's double. So this will be a yes. And you could play the x game, but the numbers will be pretty terrible, so no thank you. So you're going to just recognize this is a perfect square trinomial. It means you have 2 of the same parentheses. It means that it's going to factor like this. 2x plus 7 squared. Whatever sign you have here will be the sign that you have here. Okay, so since it's a plus 28x, I should have a plus 7 because it should be positive. So this is also a yes. This is a perfect square trinomial. The first 2 are yes. You can imagine we'll have some no's. Look at number 3. It looks like this is going to work out pretty nicely because 16x squared could be, what, 4x squared? What about 25? 5. Okay, so it looks like it's perfect square, but this can't be factored because you notice that there's no b term. So it's not doing that thing in the middle that you see at the top where it says 2ab. It's not doing that. So if a is 4x and b is 5, that gets me 20x. In the middle here, I should see 40x if it's a perfect square. I don't have that. So no. Also, if you try to factor this, it's prime because it's not difference of squares, it's a minus sign. So no, because it's missing a b term. Which is the 2ab. If this is a and this is b, it's missing the middle term that doubles those. Okay, that's kind of weird. And then last one. We're going to get there. Okay, this one's off to a strong start because x squared can be written as x squared and 25 can be written as 5 squared. So those are good. The middle term should be double of a times b. A times b is 5x. So the middle term should be some version of 10x. Is it? No, so it's not a perfect square. So the b term should be 10x to make this work, so it does not factor. Okay. And you might be wondering, why in the world are we doing this? Well, because you're going to be completing the square today, and the whole point of it is to get a perfect square trinomial, because when you have a perfect square trinomial, like numbers 1 and 2, these beautiful things, it factors really fast, and it's one parentheses squared, and then you can solve with square roots, which, oh my goodness, also something that is not going away. All right, completing the square. The whole point is to get a perfect square trinomial on the left side so that you can factor it, so you can solve by square roots. So you've got some steps here. You're going to rewrite it by moving the c to the other side. It says ax squared plus bx equals c. Divide both sides by a if there is one, so that the a value is 1. You complete the square by taking half of b, squaring it, and adding it to both sides. You'll fill in the blank, so to speak, and then you will factor and solve a square root. So everything that was on your last test. Okay, here we go. This is weird at first. I'm not sure if you learned it in Algebra 1. I'll be honest, I can't even remember if I taught this 2 years ago in Algebra 1. Maybe, maybe not. So, number 5. First thing we want to do is move the c term to the other side. So our c here is negative 32. So I would do what to move it? Yeah, we add 32. So move this little guy over, plus 32, plus 32. And this is going to be weird, but I'm going to leave it as x squared plus 4x plus blank, because we're going to put something in that spot in a second, equals 32 plus blank. Okay? Because the middle term is going to be double of a times b. So to do that, you take the b term, you divide it by 2, and you square it. Okay, what is b? It's 4. It is this guy. 4. Okay, so 4 goes here. 4 divided by 2 squared. What is 4 divided by 2? Okay, 2. I have that number in red for a reason. Explain why in a second. 2 squared is equal to 4. And here's the magic number that we're going to add to both sides. Okay, it's not like you're done with the problem. I'm not boxing it because of that. But 4 goes here and here. So you're filling in the blank with 4. Because that will create a perfect square trinomial on the left. I'm going to show this one by using X game, but then I'm never going to do it again. Okay, if you're factoring this guy here, x squared plus 4x plus 4, I want two numbers that multiply to 4 and add to what? 4. What are those two numbers? Positive 2, positive 2. Are you with me? Okay, they're two of the same number, so you're going to have something squared. Please notice that that is just this number right here. Okay, so whatever you end up squaring will be what you would also get when you're playing the X game. Okay, so this number here, it'd be x plus 2 squared. When you factor, it would be x plus 2, but because there's two of them, it just squishes into one parentheses square. We also want to add these up. What is 32 plus 4? 36. So on the right side, you have it equal to 36. Okay, now this is the easy part, because now you know what to do. Or at least you should. How do you undo squared? Square root. That's the whole point of this. You want to get it so you can solve it by square roots. And as soon as you take a square root, you should do plus or minus. Plus or minus, what is the square root of 36? It's just 6. Cool. That cancels out the squared, and you're left with x plus 2. And you're actually almost done. This is old school stuff here. You already did this before. When I subtract 2, where's it go? In front. So I'm going to put it in front for now, and then we'll try and simplify it a little bit. -2 plus or minus 6. Okay, this one is fun because you get 2 answers, and there was one like this on your test. What is -2 plus 6? 4. So you should write one of your answers as 4. And what's your other one? What's -2 minus 6? -8. So actually write both answers, please. Asking, should we do this solution set? And I'm guessing on Delta Math, it'll probably do this automatically. Yeah, that's great if you want to do it like that. It's a solution set. All right, we'll have to find out someday. Look at number 6. What's got to move first? We'll move the 7. We'll move them over. -7, -7. I'm subtracting because it's positive. Okay, make sure you leave a blank. X squared minus 10x plus something blank equals -7 plus blank. You have to figure out what goes in the blank, okay? So it is b divided by 2 squared. What number is b? It is -10. Make sure you take -10, not just 10. So it is going to put -10 divided by 2 squared. One baby step at a time. What is that then? That's -5 squared. And -5 squared is -5 times itself. Positive 25. It should always be a positive number because I'm doing -5 times itself. -5 times -5 will give me a positive 25. That number is what you're going to fill in the blank with, okay? Cubed, it would be negative, yeah. So even exponents would make it positive. Odd exponents would make it negative. Good question. Just talked about that in college algebra today. All right. You know the number, so now you're going to factor it. You could play the x game. The two numbers that multiply to 25 and add to -10 would be what? It would be -5 and -5. Again, it's just this number. Do you see this guy right here? But you could play the x game and figure it out too. So it would be -5. There are going to be 2 of those, -5, so it would be x minus 5, x minus 5, if you factor it as normal. And you need to add up the right side, whatever that is, -7 plus 25. 18. And I wrote 25 instead. Hold on. 18. There we go. Now you should know what to do. How we get root squared? Square root. Okay, you did square root. Please write down plus or minus before you forget it, and I'm sad about it. And you know that when you have a square root, you should always try and see if it can simplify. Of course it can this time around. So I'm going to bop out to the side here. Some of us have calculators. This will do it for you. Actually, maybe not so much in this class, but square root of 18. What is the perfect square that 18 divides by? 9. It is 9. So square root of 9 times square root of 2, and the square root of 9 is 3. So 3 comes out of the root. 3 no longer has a root because you took the square root of 9. Okay, so we're going to put that back in the problem now. So square root of 18 actually becomes 3 root 2. And this on the left side, you just have x minus 5. You're almost done. To get rid of this minus 5, you do what? Plus 5 to go where? In front. So 5 plus or minus 3 root 2. And I think on your worksheet today, I have you split it up, maybe. The only way you could split this one up, like the last one, like last time I had you write it as 2 answers, there's really not a whole lot to do here other than to say you could write this in 2 separate solutions. You could write it as x equals 5 plus 3 root 2, and then the other answer is 5 minus 3 root 2. Is that really necessary?
That's tacky.
No. I'm fine if you leave your answer like this. But you'll notice that I have arrows like this. And I think Delta Math will usually make you write it as 2 separate solutions. So, sorry. One of these things is not like the other. There's a 3 in front. The last two we just did not have that. And so, yes, you should take care of the 3. Technically, you could move the C term first. If you want to still do that first, you can. Sure. I'm not going to do that first. I'm actually going to divide by 3 right away. And I know I've been making you keep the GCF out in front, but actually when it's an equation, you don't have to. So you can actually divide out the 3 forever and it be gone. So this becomes, because it's an equation, because I'm dividing by 3 on both sides, I am keeping it equal, sorry. So that would make it x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0. So it actually works out pretty nicely. Okay. That's better. So if there's a number out in front, please make sure that you divide by a. We don't want an a value. It makes everything terrible. Okay. Now go ahead and move your x term or your c term to the other side. So we're going to move this 5. So if we subtract it, it would become x squared plus 4x plus blank equals -5 plus blank, which, by the way, do you know why I'm adding to both sides and not just to one side? When you're solving an equation, are you allowed to add just to one side? No. Everything always has to be done to both sides. Like I divided by 3 on both sides. It's fine as long as you do it to both sides. It doesn't matter what you do. You can multiply by 10,000. No one's going to care as long as you do it to both sides. All right, figure out what b divided by 2 squared is. There's b, positive 4. So you take, I'm actually going to, okay, I'm not going to write the b divided by 2 squared this time, actually. Okay, so you should have 4 divided by 2 squared. So that would be 2 squared, which is 4. Fill in the blank now, please. Yeah, I got little kids, can you tell? Sing a lot. Okay. You could play the X game in your head, or you cannot. Doesn't really matter because you know what number is going to go in. It's this. It's the 2. Because the 2 numbers I multiply to 4 and add to positive 4 are 2 and 2. So it would factor as, x plus 2 squared equals, what's the right side? -5 plus 4. -1. That's fun. Okay, square root. So now your squared is gone, and you're just left with x plus 2 is equal to, don't forget, plus or minus. What do you call it when it's square root of -1? Well, when you have a negative root, you always take out an I. But this is actually just, it's just I. That is what I is. It's square root of -1. And then you can subtract the 2 out in front. And I'm running in a room, so I'm not going to bother writing it. It's 2 separate things. Because this is a fine answer, okay? If this is like a test or something and you put that, then that's great. -2 plus or minus I would be your final answer. The -2 goes out in front of the plus or minus.